I'm here in Anchorage, Alaska. I'm doing another carnivore diet live stream. I kind of like to do these weekly updates and stuff like that for the people that actually care. So that's the main reason I do these live streams. Plus, it just gives me something to do. And by the way, this was my birthday weekend. I did get out with the wife and kids yesterday. We went south of Anchorage. So I've been building that video feverishly ever since we got done last night. So I will be releasing that one. And something absolutely amazing happened on that trip. Something I never expected. That's going to be part of my weekend update video. I don't want to spill the beans on that one completely because it's a pretty big deal to me. I was super excited. So be expecting that one to be posted and uploaded soon. Okay, we got this pan ripping hot right now. I'm getting ready to cook some steaks because that's kind of what we do. Oh yeah, that looks great. So the oils, I'm using olive oil to get started. And I'm super thankful for the entire community coming to my aid the last time I was making steak because seriously, I had no idea how to really cook a halfway decent steak. And since then, I kind of figured out my own routine on how to cook a really good steak, although I still lack preparation skills. Before I hit record, so I'm digging around for my cheap metal tongs. I don't like using the plastic ones when we're doing this. Hey, Kenny D, appreciate you jumping in. I am drinking a milkshake right now, and it's bussin'. Right on. I mean, as long as it works for you, man, that's all you got to do. You mentioned this, so I figured I'd check it out. All right, thank you, Ladybug. Yes, I did mention this. I do a lot of random live streams throughout the week. I just try to, keep on top of things as we go. And I'm learning too. And I'm learning I need to walk over here and shut my son's bedroom door before I set the smoke alarm off. Ugh. Now I'm going to have cats scratching at the door here in a few minutes. Oh, I got that pan way too hot. Whew. That thing is smoking. Oh, all right. So anyways, we're going to get these steaks on here. And I already got them all seasoned up my way. I got some nice seasonings on them. These steaks are huge. Oh, there we go. That sounds amazing. But yeah, we're definitely cooking up some steaks. And I have been in love with these steaks because this is part of the big, huge slab of meat that I had from Costco. And this was just like one of the steaks. I got about 15. I think I might have even got 20 steaks out of there, out of that big chunk of meat. And it was only like 48 or $49 at Costco Business Center. I mean, not, if I were to go out and buy this particular steak right here in Alaska, I'd be looking at, anywhere from 25 to 30, maybe $40 for that same steak. And I got a whole chunk of meat. And I just cut it up into a bunch of steaks. I was very clumsy about it, by the way. But still, I mean, it's super. You can see all the fat on the outside. Nice fat on the outside. Some of that fat is unedible for me, so we give it to the dog. But there's not a whole lot of like really gristly parts in this meat either. And I believe it was called top sirloin or trim sirloin or whatever. But it was absolutely amazing. So yeah, I'm super happy about it. Yesterday was an amazing trip. Like I said, we went south of Anchorage. We made several different stops. We did run into a bunch of wind because when you get south of Anchorage, it's called turning an arm, and the wind just it's either blowing right through the arm one way or it's coming back the other way. And at one point, it was to the point where I almost lost my hat at a couple times. I'm surprised I didn't, but it is what it is. So then we diverted off the trail and went up the mountain towards one of the ski areas and let the kids play on one of the playgrounds there. And they had a really good time. I wish I had a stove that was level. Okay, I get this flipped over. See what we got going for a nice little sear. We got a halfway decent. I'm going to have to flip it back over again. Show you guys what's going on here. Okay. That fat is probably not good for your dog. No, it's actually really good for the dogs, just like it's good for us. The fat is really good. But yeah, that's what I got on the first flip. So I'll give that side a couple minutes. But yeah, the meat fat is exactly what we want. We want the meat fat because we use that for energy. Let's see, can you give me a shout out? Prime Rates and More. There you go. You got your shout out. Thanks for joining there. Prime Rates and More. Shannon, happy belated birthday. Hey, I appreciate that, Shannon. I mean, it was a fantastic birthday compared to some that I've had over the years. I wasn't complaining. We didn't do like a real big birthday party. It was basically, we all hopped in the car pretty early in the morning and we just took a beeline south. And that's kind of what we do around this time of year up here in Alaska, because it's breakup season. There's not a lot going on, especially with construction works concerned. So my work is slow right now. Actually, my hospital just called me a little bit ago to update my chart, and they were like, are you working right now? Well, your income's below such and such a level. You can apply for Medicare or Medicaid or whatever they offer. And I was just like, it's going to change like next month, so I'm not too super worried about it. I mean, this is something we go through every single year. I mean, even if I was working for a regular freight hauling company, their freight slows down tremendously right now. So a lot of their drivers are just sitting around just like, wish I had a load to take. And, you know, they're all looking forward to getting out on the highways, but it's that time of year right now in Alaska where we have a thing called weight restrictions that come on. So, you know, right now they're heading to Girdwood. Some of the roads are 100% axle weights. Other roads are like 75% of your normal axle weight. And a lot of the side roads are 50%. So that prevents us from, you know, running dump trucks and stuff up and down these roads. Or trucks with regular loads. That side looks a little better. Not too great. I think I used the wrong seasoning. I wanted to try the Monterey chicken seasoning this time. I think it's Monterey chicken seasoning. I tried Monterey steak seasoning the last time. No, Montreal chicken seasoning. I've had good luck with this. It does have that. Now that seasoning works really well on pork. I do have the Montreal steak seasoning. I tried that last time. It came out pretty good, but I always experiment. I mean, this is how people like me got fat in the first place, is we experiment with all kinds of stuff. And typically we're making unhealthy foods. But now I'm actually making healthy foods, and I'm experimenting with that, and I'm having fun because I got this meat at a really affordable price. So I can't really complain, even though I might. Let's see. Thank you, John. John is cooking steak. Yeah, I'm cooking steak. I got to start doing stuff with the steak right now. I got to do, steak cooking tricks. Get it flipped up on its side and stuff. But yeah, we got to get the edges going right now. But I never understood why people loved steak so much until I started the carnivore diet. I mean, I just didn't understand it, because for the most part on the carnivore diet, I've just been using 80-20 burger patties or even 70-30 burger meat. And then I learned that, it's a whole lot cheaper if I buy like a 10-pound chub at Costco. I can save a ton of money doing it that way. I mean, that's the best way to do it. I mean, if you got a Costco business membership, by all means, go there and get your burger meat, get all of your meat there if you can. I mean, it's worth. We have 2-3 Costco's in this area, but they're all within really short driving distances, and it's so worth it. I mean, I would never go to a regular grocery store like Walmart or Fred Meyer or Carter Safeway, ever again, to specifically buy meat unless I was actually in a pinch and that store was closed. I mean, I just can't believe how much money I wasted over the years, even on regular, barbecue items. It's like, man, I could have been saving money, and I should have been saving money, but I wasn't. I was just, because as a dump truck driver and a truck driver in Alaska, we tend to just make a lot of money, and we go out and we spend a lot of money too. That's kind of how that works. Hope you guys can hear me over all the sizzling over there. Hopefully it's not too loud. But yeah, I'm looking forward to eating this. This is gonna be mine. I'm gonna make the other one up too. And when I'm done doing this, I'm done doing the edges, we're gonna get some butter in the pan. That seems to work out really well. Oh yeah, there we go. Come on, you're heavy. That is a heavy steak. I never understood the importance of doing this until I actually started getting into steaks and learning how to cook steaks. This is a really crucial part of the process, especially for the ends and the fat. Because if you don't do this, the fat is just going to be really gummy and really chewy, and it's not going to melt in your mouth. I never knew that. Like, not even 2 months ago. I always saw people doing this, and I thought it was silly. I was like, what do you guys? Why do you do that? And then, you know, when you spend actual money, hard-earned money, on a good piece of meat, and you realize that, like, wow, you can actually make that taste better by doing certain things, yeah, you start picking up on the little tricks of the trade. I am not an expert, by the way, or have mighty culinary skills. That is not me. I like to fumble around the kitchen. Sometimes I screw things up. I need to cut that heat way down. I need to get some butter in the pan, get that going. So right now, I had it up pretty high temperature. Now I got the heat cut back because we're going to do the finish cook after the sear. We're going to get some butter in there. And I should have got some more butter out of the fridge before I got started. We're going to let that butter do its thing. And then we're going to fumble around the fridge and find some more butter because like I said, I don't, oh no, really? Uh-oh. I go through a lot of butter. Oh, thank goodness. It's this, whoo-hoo. I thought we were out. I really did. I thought we were out of butter. I was going to cry. Hey, Lisa, bless life. Thank you. I appreciate you jumping in. Hey, Lisa, how are you doing, by the way? I haven't heard much from you. I have seen that some of your videos have posted lately, but I haven't had time. I mean, it gets super hectic and super busy. So, and this last video that I did yesterday, I mean, this is going to take me a while to get that video done. So I don't know how long that's going to take. It takes a lot longer to do these things than I thought. You know, you never really think of that when you start a YouTube channel. You're like, oh, I can just make videos and people are going to watch them. Well, that's not true. I can make a lot of videos that people don't watch. I mean, over time, people tend to watch videos that I posted a long time ago, and I like even today, for instance, I posted a CPAP video about a mask that I did a review on, and that mask was it was a horrible mask. I did not like it. I don't like doing negative reviews because even on CPAP products, I try to be honest, and my review of that product was actually, you know, more along the lines of this mask is not for everyone. And somebody just commented on that video today, and I was kind of happy to see that. I was like, wow, this video is still getting views, even if it's 1 or 2. I mean, that's kind of cool. So yeah, you know, CPAP related stuff definitely has paid off in the long run, because I did another video about the Philips Respironics recall, and that one has done well for a very long time. Kerrygold butter, so freaking good. I mean, I could probably, I'm not a butter muncher, but we're gonna try that, because why not? It's the internet. We do weird stuff. No, I don't like that. I don't know why people like that. I think it's okay. I like the creaminess. I don't know. Is this the salted stuff or the unsalted stuff? This is salted. Okay, not bad. I mean, it's not something I'm going to do. I'm not just going to sit there and munch on butter like some of these people. I got to run in the other room real quick because like I said, I've been working on this latest video of what we did yesterday. There's a lot of parts and pieces to it. And I don't have a lot of money for a really awesome editing program or software. So I got to use like CapCut, which works really good. There's a lot of really big YouTubers that are using CapCut on their PC and on their phones, and it does them well. But I can't afford the pro features right now because I need money. And that's just the thing. That's how life works. I'm getting this. Oh my goodness. I almost dropped the butter on the floor. Oh, that would have been horrible. I think I would have been upset if I did that. That would have sucked. But okay, we got the butter safely put away in the butter dish. Let's see, what do we got going on in here? We got people saying stuffs. Howie, I think you should watch Ken Berry. Yeah, absolutely. Watch Dr. Ken Berry, Dr. Shafee. A lot of those doctors, I mean, they're not telling you what to do. They're just talking about the overall benefits, of the carnivore diet. And they try to help us out. And they give us a hand on how to, figure out how to better our own health in our own situations. Okay, that looks pretty good there. I'm going to try this one-handed. I don't know if I can, because that is not going to work. I need to set you guys down real quick. Then I can hopefully get a chunk more of that butter out of there. Into the pan. There we go. There we are. Yes, more butter is better, especially at this point. Might even get a big chunk of it right on top of there. Right now, all I'm doing is I'm just getting this big, huge, giant steak up to temperature. So it's probably going to take a little while. So I got the sear on it. Now I got it on super low heat. I'm going to get my handy dandy meat thermometer out. We're going to put this on and just let it kind of chill out in the pan with a cover on it. And in time, it will just naturally do its thing. It'll just cook down and be amazing. Come on, you get in there. I'm going to force you. But since this steak was so big, it's going to take a while to get up to temperature. All right, we got it right in the middle where it belongs. And if I ever do, I'm going to go out and get a better meat thermometer. That's already 121. Huh. Okay, so this time we're going to set you up a little higher. No way. Stop it. You don't know what you're talking about. Why are you doing that? Okay, I don't know what I'm doing here. Oh, I'm going the wrong way with the buttons. That's why. There we go. There. Let's try that. Okay. No way. That's not that hot. That's impossible. Try that again. It already says it's up to almost 130. I'm having a hard time believing that. I'm starting to think there's something wrong with my probe. I'm going to try it in a different spot. Because normally the internal temperature doesn't come up that quick for me. Maybe it did. Maybe my steak's already done. I don't know. Huh. Okay, you stop it. Like I said, I'm very new at this. So we're going to try this piece of meat over here. That one says it's up to temperature too. Okay. I'm not fussy about this. I'm not really fussy about how rare my steak is. I will eat a steak no matter what. I mean, I'll eat a steak just like that, no problem. All right, let's get this flipped over one more time. See what we got going on here. Okay, let's get that butter all yummy. So good. All that extra fat. Butter's a great fuel source too, but I've been hearing some people have been having some issues with using too much butter. But so I mean that's the nice thing about the community around carnivores. Like when we find stuff that works, we talk about it. We talk about how it works. Then we find stuff that might not. We change our mind sometimes. It's like, well, that might not be what we want to do. So we will change our minds. Because when I started the carnivore diet, I was full of opinions. My number one opinion was this is a bunch of bullcrap. This doesn't gonna work for me. Eat A2 butter. No, I got Kerrygold butter. Please be respectful in the chat. Hey, thank you, Amber. I appreciate you. People can make fun of me. They can make fun of my forehead. That's allowed. I have a very large forehead. Okay. I'm pretty happy with that. I don't know about you guys, but it's not quite cooked in there. That's okay. I don't want it cooked all the way through either. Ta-da! Boom. We're just going to let that one sit there and rest. Now we're going to get the pan heated up a little hotter again because I need to get a sear on this other piece. A little more oil in there. Da-da-da-da. Ta-da. This shouldn't take too long either. So while my other piece rests, we're going to get this one going. Let it do its thing. And then we're going to... I need to put this one out of the way because my cat... So when these were sitting on the counter, I had them in the fridge thawing out for over 24 hours. And then they weren't quite completely thawed, so I had them on the counter here while I was working on my video in the other room. And one of my cats thought it would be a great idea to come in here and chew on the edge of the Ziploc bag. And I had, you know, that red stuff all over the counter. So, like, right before I was getting ready to hit record, I was like, oh my goodness. Apex, I like that. Da, 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 da. Hello, you have a large forehead. Yes, I do, cats meow. But that's also because I don't have much hair. I'm kind of thankful I don't have much hair. I appreciate not having hair. I guess I couldn't try to make my own A2 kefir cultured milk. That sounds pretty good. Let's see, Techno Font. I like that. Techno Font. That's an interesting YouTube handle there. I always found it interesting how there's all these weird YouTube handles coming out now. I guess for a while there it was just people's names, you know, or something silly like an abbreviation. And then all of a sudden it was like people figured out that they can actually, so if you're actually watching here on YouTube, especially on your phone, you actually have a YouTube account and you can go in there and you can change your YouTube name at any given time to whatever you want. You know, you can make it Cats Meow or like me, Big Man Alaska. And that's actually your own personal YouTube account. You can add videos to that account at any time. Doesn't mean you're going to make money doing it. It just means you can put videos on your YouTube account. People that know you, similar to Facebook. And we can make money with Facebook as well. I spent so many years putting content on Facebook, and I didn't realize I could make money with it. So, I mean, it is a thing. I was 2003 Gmail beta tester. Right on. I bet the dog... loved it though. Let's see. It was my fault. I don't know. Hey, Christine Morrison, thank you for jumping in there. Let's see. LOL, my dog got one of my steaks because I left it on the counter. Oh no. Thankfully, my dog doesn't do that. I am so happy that our dog's pretty well trained. This is my flat tire dog, by the way, Sadie. She just kind of does that and waits. You can see her looking around. She's like, ah, stop it. What's wrong with my lens? It's acting all goofy. I'm going to have to clean that one. I think I got a problem. I don't know. I should have one of them things up here. I always do, but now, today I don't. All right, we're going to clean off the back lens. I like using the back lens once in a while. Let's see. Yeah, beta testing is super fun there, Technofont. I mean, I used to be into that, and I was a beta tester for many video games and stuff like that, and especially like trucking type software and cell phones early on, like in the mid 90s and early 2000s. That was something I loved to do. Oh, that's got a good sear on it. I'm almost proud of that one. Let's spin that around. So, yeah, that site came out looking pretty snazzy. I like that. Yeah, a spoon. Get some of the yumminess just on top and doing its thing. I saw somebody do this in a video one time. I don't know if it's a good idea or not, but it looked like it was a good idea. Let me know what you guys do. Do you guys do this? All right, I'm going to start dropping the temperature on that a little bit. I don't want to burn it. I'd be so upset if I burnt the steak. But since I'm using cast iron, you can drop the temperature now and it's still going to do its job on the other side. Let's see, how are you doing with the wave plate? Life Pro. Christine Morrison, I absolutely love my Life Pro, by the way. Now, I do have an option that I haven't completed and finalized the process yet, but Joel from Life Pro actually reached out to me, and basically through Bill Knott. Bill Knott mentioned me and said, because I really do believe in Life Pro products. Especially because they work, and I only talk about stuff that works on my channel. I mean, if it really sucks, I try to avoid it. But if there's something out there that works and I think it's going to help one of you guys, yeah, I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to be like, yeah, you guys should check this stuff out. I wish I did, years ago. I didn't think those vibration plates were actually a good idea. I didn't think they were anything that was going to work for me either. But, I've only had mine now for about 3 weeks. And what I accomplished yesterday, when I was recording yesterday's video, it just blew my mind. And that's, if you guys are regulars, you guys are going to know what I'm talking about when I do this weekend's update, because it's going to kind of like be one of the first things almost out of the gate. We got to figure out how I'm going to put that video together. But I'm looking forward, and I haven't looked forward to making weekend updates lately, because they don't have a lot of oomph to them right now, because I don't have any dramatic weight loss. I'm just basically talking about what I'm eating, what I'm doing, and stuff like that. So it is what it is. You just gotta be honest with everybody and let them know, like, hey, this is what you're doing, or if you went off the rails or on the rails. People respect honesty over all the nonsense. I gotta get a temperature thingy on here. Let's see if I can get this to do its thing. Get my camera set up again. I got to do some stuffs right here. Got my temperature thingy. We're going to get the probe ready. Let's see, probably that's the thickest part right there. I'll work you down right on in there. See where we're at. I don't know where we're at yet. Now, if I ever do another meat thermometer, I'm definitely going to try to go out and buy the Wi-Fi, not Wi-Fi, Bluetooth meat thermometers, because then I can just stick it in there and let it do its thing, and I don't have to worry about a whole lot. Because this cord, by the way, this cord gets crazy hot. You can burn yourself on that cord, and I have several times now. I'm going to cover that up. Right now it's saying that temperature is only like 95, 96. That's an internal temperature. So I gotta wait for a little while. I don't want that ups that high. But I mean, even for a cheap, I can't remember, this is like 12 bucks for this at Walmart. It's not a bad deal. I mean, it works. So far I've been able to make some amazing burgers now. I mean, even if you're making like hand pressed burgers, this is extremely helpful. I mean, as long as you're not mashing the burgers like a smash burger, that's kind of pointless to have a meat thermometer for that, because it's pretty obvious when those are done. But yeah, if you're doing stuff like this, then yeah, having a good meat thermometer is super helpful. We're just gonna let that one chill out, and as soon as that one's done, the other one's gonna be done resting, and then we're gonna dig into that. I hear noise from the other. Man, this is why I dislike inexpensive video editors, because with CapCut PC, once the video is done exporting, it starts playing noise, and I have no settings. I can't shut it off. That's horrible. It's workout for sure. I hope it gets my scale moving in the right direction. I don't know. I don't really think I lost any weight by using the vibration plate, although I have heard of people say that they have experienced some weight loss. Now, I do have a viewer that contacts me a lot by email and messenger, and she just bought that plate. And she said, so far so good. She's having pretty good luck with it. I did warn her that the faster speeds on a vibration plate does not mean better. So even for me, I start out super slow, and then I work my way up. Yeah, and so far I haven't even worked my way up into the faster speeds. So yesterday, before I got going, I spent about 10 or 15 minutes on the plate, and it just worked. Be quiet. My computer is just... And it's going to do it again. Why? Okay, we got to fix that. All right, hush. There we go. I'll be back with you later. I got hours of work to do on this video. It's a problem. It's what we do. But it's kind of what I signed up for when I thought about doing YouTube. The funny thing is when I started YouTube, I had no idea that I would still be doing YouTube videos. I also had no idea that anybody would be interested in my weight loss journey. Or, you know, I didn't never in a million years thought I'd be doing the carnivore diet. Just all this stuff just happened. Everything fell into place. And then I never imagined I'd be doing live streams ever. I didn't think I was interesting. I was horribly depressed. That's where the carnivore diet comes in, by the way. The carnivore diet has helped cure about 80 to 90% of my depression, my anxiety, overall anxiety. I mean, I'm able to get out of the house more, do stuff by myself when I couldn't before. I needed my wife. I needed my kids. I needed to be with somebody. You know, even if I were to go out and have fun, like go to a bar or just go to the shopping mall, I needed a babysitter, it felt like. And that's, you know, most people are like, oh, well, that shouldn't be a big deal. You know, you're a truck driver. And I used to be a bouncer at a bar. But when you're a truck driver and you have to go in these situations with people, that's normal. You know, when you're a bouncer at a bar and you're working around a big social crowd and you're trying to manage the crowd and take care of situations and be cordial, that's normal. You're getting paid to do that. Your anxiety is deleted at that point. You can actually go do those things. But when the job's over, you know, that's when, you know, the anxiety came up. So I could bounce at a bar all night, and if I got let go early, if I got sent home, then I would want to just literally get in the car and go home. Not just because I'm done with working, but even if it's a bar that I would normally go to, if I wasn't there with friends, I couldn't do it. I mean, it was just, yeah, I had to go. And we're getting closer. Getting closer to done. I want this one to hurry up and be done so I can sit down and eat the other one. Preferably before my cats get into it, because that's what my cats do. You know how cats are. All right, what do we got going on there? Ramen love. Oh, yeah. Excuse me. So I got sick about a week ago, and it wasn't really a bad sickness. I mean, pretty much all the illnesses I've been getting since I've been on the carnivore diet have been pretty minor. That's awesome. Because before, I was scared of my kids. You know, every time my kids went to school, I was so morbidly obese, guys. For all of you who have chimed in, you don't know, you might not know me, but I mean, I was over 400 pounds, and I've lost at least 120 pounds, 125 pounds. Hold on here. Let me shut that off. So it says we're up to temperature. I don't believe it. I don't think this thermometer is like 100% accurate, but it does really good with burgers, so I can't complain there. I'm going to try to clean up some of the mess as I go. I got to cover the butter. Anybody else got cats that get in the butter? I mean, if there's any butter on anything, my cats are like in it. All right. I need to shut that off. I'll have to get another plate out, because I got to let this steak sit somewhere. I'm not going to put it back on the dirty cutting board. Well, this will be probably the steak that, you know, maybe my wife or kids get into later on, because as soon as they smell steak, they get super hungry. They're like, oh, Dad made steak. And oh, yeah, kind of an announcement. My son was promoted. He's in JORTC. So my son was promoted to battalion commander the other day. And I didn't know that. I didn't know that it was him getting promoted, because I'm really not into the whole military stuff when it comes to promotions and, you know, honors and stuff like that. Because when I was in the military, it was the last thing I wanted to do. But I mean, so meanwhile, while talking to him about that, because that's a big deal, being in JORTC, he's been doing it since his sophomore year or freshman year, and he didn't even want to do it, by the way. He just did it because he needed another course or something. So he got into it, and he wanted to get out of it right away. And my wife was like, oh, okay, we'll sign the papers. You can change. You can get out of JROTC. Then he spent a little bit longer in there, and he's like, no, I think I want to stay in it. And he's been in there for the last 3 years and excelled like tremendously. But like many young teenagers, and like myself included, we fell down a rabbit hole, especially with technology and all these unhealthy food options that are out here now. He decided he was going to eat a lot of junk food, unhealthy food. He was making constant trips to Starbucks to get those colorful fruity drinks, indulging in all the frappuccinos and stuff like that from McDonald's. So long story short, he's starting to gain weight. He started to gain weight pretty rapidly. So while I was losing weight, my son was putting it on. And, we figured out his weight to compared to being morbidly obese or not, and he's pretty close. And I told him that. And this is just according to the BMI index chart. Your weight versus your height and your age and stuff like that tells you approximately, what obesity level you're at. And he was like within 20 pounds of being morbidly obese. And I was like, man, how does that make you feel? And he's like, not good. And I was like, do you know Dad's like losing weight and he can help you lose weight, and you can still eat food. So he started messing around on his own with the carnivore diet. Because I always ask him, it's like, hey, what'd you eat while you were at work? Because he works for McDonald's, and McDonald's will just give you whatever you want, and you can just snack on it. You know how it is when you're an employee at a restaurant. You get food, you get snacks, you get whatever, here or there within reason. But yesterday, when I asked him when he got home from work, I was like, son, I said, what'd you have? And he's like, just the burger patties, like you said. I said, did you have cheese? He's like, no. I said, did you have sauce? And he's like, yeah, I had some sauce. And I was like, and I thought about it for a second. And, my knee-jerk reaction as a father is like, always like, because I got experience doing this, first thing I said was like, oh man, that sauce, that's, how we screw up salads? I said, that's exactly how you can screw up, meat as well. But then I had to think about, okay, I'm Dad. When I started losing weight, when I started the carnivore diet, what was I doing? And automatically I was like, whoa, wait, son, you're okay. That's natural. That's normal. When you transition into carnivore, you're doing just that. You're adding a lot of sauces until your palate changes and you can actually start tasting food. And I was like, yeah, I'm like borderline, almost giving my son some horrible advice. And I'm, trying to help the kid out. I'm not trying to make things worse for him. Oh, that steak looks good. Good. Yep. I want to eat that one too, but I can't eat that one. That will hurt me. All right, let me flip you guys around so you can see real quick what that one looks like. Oh, that's the pan. There it is. Just kidding. Okay. So yeah, that one looks. Oh yeah, that's a pretty shot there. Look at that steam coming off of there. I'm gonna set you up there, and if a cat gets into that, we're gonna be eating cat later on. Alaskan Native, we can do that. We're allowed to do stuff. Let's see. Okay, I'm excited to cut into this steak now. Let's see if I can get this thing to work right. Up, away. Cool, nice going. But yeah, anyways, my son is considering, carnivore type eating. Now, I don't expect him to ever be 100% carnivore, by the way. And I'm just proud of him for actually making a choice. Now, another thing I told him, I said, you're 17 years old. You can change your body incredibly fast. I said, all you have to do is start doing some, 10 push-ups a day. And I've been asking him since then. I was like, how are your push-ups going? And he's like, well, I haven't done them. I'm like, but you had time to play on your phone. I was like, how long does it take you to do 10 push-ups? He's like, probably less than 30 seconds. I said, yeah. And then you can go play on your phone after that. But I don't know if we can get him to that point. I might have to start doing stuff like that with him. That's pretty red. That's not bad. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not going to use that chicken, Montreal chicken seasoning again. Definitely should have used the steak. I need to go grab some salt. But that's the fun part about, you know, cooking in the kitchen. You can make mistakes. Not a super huge deal. I never did take my electrolytes today. I don't know if I need them all the time now, but that's funny too, because when I first started on the carnivore diet, like almost immediately, first thing I had to do was worry about vitamins, and then you know, like multivitamins or, you know, magnesium, D3s, stuff like that when I got started. Then I always had to focus on electrolyte intake. Sometimes at least 1 to 2 times a day, electrolyte intake. But lately I haven't been feeling the need, like I have to have electrolytes all the time. Not a big deal anymore. But, you know, when you feel a certain way and you've done this for a while, and I've been doing this, I think since last September, I'll have to go back and look. So I don't remember exactly when I started carnivore anymore. It's in one of my regular video description sections, and I have to look back at it quite a bit. Christine had to bail out. We'll see you later, Christine. Thanks for coming. Stone Dave, these diets are very thin line between eating disorder, way of life. You know what's an eating disorder there, Stone Age? Is eating all the crap food in the center aisles of the grocery store. You know, thinking that you're doing a good thing by going to McDonald's and you get a Sprite. I mean, that's where I was. I was thinking I was eating healthy, and I wasn't. I wasn't thinking about it at all. What these diets do is they get a person's mindset to change. You know, I don't care if you're going vegan, vegetarian, carnivore, keto, Atkins diet. If you don't change what's going on up here, you're not going to get healthy. Now, there's those out there that are fortunate where their parents are already inclined to teach these things to their children. I wasn't one of those. You know, I grew up on stuff like TV dinners, canned raviolis, macaroni, what was that? Stouffer's macaroni and cheese. You remember the stuff you used to be able to cook in the oven in a little tin, almost like a TV dinner. That's the kind of stuff I grew up on. You know, boxed cereals, oatmeal, and then after a while, you know, especially around the 1990 or so, that's when all the ingredients started changing in all of our foods. But we were so accustomed to buying the easy products, and it's really easy to do easy because that's why it's easy. And they sell it in the commercials. They sell it to us all the time. Every time we turn around, they're trying to sell us easy this, easy that. You know, this is why we have microwave ovens, because it's easier than cooking on the stove, even though it's a real pain in the butt to clean a microwave oven. Let's see. They deliberately make junk food addictive, so people buy them. They make it. As a scientist sits there and formulates the junk food to trigger certain responses, addictive type responses. They make the coloring in the junk food specific colors to make it more attractive to children. I mean, it's great. You know, it's like these things here. They're trying to make these illegal, even though they're better than smoking cigarettes. They're trying to make them illegal because they target children with their fruity flavors and their sweetness. Well, whatever. I mean, the thing is we're all addicted to something. A lot of people don't even know they're addicted. So Matt Martin just dropped in. He said he's still on the booby. All right. And let's see, Donna. Yeah, all these processed foods are now bioengineered, and they say it on the label. That's the sad part. It's like, yeah, I kind of avoided a lot of that bioengineered stuff by when I started losing weight, because a lot of that started coming out, you know, around the time I started losing weight, you know, especially on the package. It might have already been there, but now it's being publicized. Waterfowl birds finally showing up here on the West Coast, AK. Time for fresh birds. Yeah, I just did a video the other day out there at Potter's Marsh, and the birds are starting to come in here pretty quickly too. And when we went on a trip yesterday down south, we noticed a lot of ducks and geese coming in. We do have some swans. The wife thought she saw some cranes. I think it's a little early for sand cranes to come up here. Well, here's the thing. If you're just eating whole foods, it's actually cheaper than trying to live life eating what we think is inexpensive junk food, because you feel like you're getting something for your money when you're just getting a big bag of something. And a lot of times that bag is just full of air. It's full of soybean. It's full of unhealthy products. A lot of artificial ingredients and stuff like that goes into that. So you're paying for a lot of crap. And when you buy whole food and you eat whole food, even if you're eating a vegetable diet or even a carnivore diet, you eat less, you buy more, you spend less money. You might spend more money on a steak, but that steak's going to fill you up. If you're eating a box of macaroni and cheese, about 20 minutes later, you're going to be eating another box of Cheez-Its. And then you're going to be eating some potato chips or a soda pop. And the cycle just goes on. It's crazy how it just goes and goes and goes. Yeah. I feel like I need a little, feels like it needs a little spice. I don't like drowning my food in sauce, but I do like a little bit of hot sauce on the side, because I have stopped using, I don't use black pepper anymore. So far, I haven't really noticed a difference not using black pepper anymore, but I'm just going to stay away from the black pepper for a while. And then I'm going to slowly add some black pepper back into my diet and see if anything changes. Because right now, my weight has been like in between 300 pounds and 315 for just, seems like weeks. And it goes back and forth. And it's driving me bonkers. And it's just a plateau. I have an opinion that it will change as soon as summer gets here. I'm looking forward to summer. After what happened yesterday, I am really looking forward to summer. I mean, my eyes lit up. I was so happy. Let's see, Felix, this is a steak I cut out of a large chunk of meat. I believe it's top sirloin or trim sirloin. I got a little piece of fat. It's a little too fatty. Actually, it's not too bad. It's good, though. I can't really complain. So, yeah, I don't know. These steaks were so affordable, by the way. Don't go out and buy steaks. Don't do it. I mean, after learning a little bit about meat, a little bit about how to process your own meat, from a bigger chunk of meat, it's not that hard. It's totally doable. Go out and buy a big slab, for like, this was $50. I had a big, huge piece of meat from Costco for like about $50. And I went back there last week and I was looking around. I thought about buying another one. But the problem is when I get it home, I have to process it right away and get it bagged up and then put it straight into the freezer. Or I have to put the whole chunk of meat directly into the big freezer and then let it thaw. And it takes days, by the way. It takes a while to get it to thaw out, and then you can process it that way. But this one here, I let it thaw just enough that I could get the majority of the way through it. And it wasn't completely unthawed. So I processed it into these steaks. I repackaged them, and then I put them back in the freezer. I personally do not have honey on the carnivore diet. I don't care much for any sweets. Now, if there were a little bit of sugar in a basic sauce, I mean, not like Sweet Baby Ray's. Sweet Baby Ray's is high fructose corn syrup. But if there should happen to be like a little natural sugar in a sauce, I'm not too worried about that because I'm not drowning it like I used to drown my salads. I don't know. Let me take a look. Donna wants to know if there's sugar in here. Go through the ingredient list. There's a couple things that kind of made me wonder, but I haven't had any problems with this sauce yet. Ingredients: water, peppers, arbol, and piquin. I don't know what that is. Salt, acetic acid, xanthium gum. That's a weird one. Spices, apple cider vinegar, garlic powder, and natural flavors. So natural flavors, you never know what natural flavors are. But really, there's only a few little weird ingredients in here. And it's got apple cider vinegar in it too. But the main ingredient in here is water and pepper. Water, pepper, and salt. So the xanthium gum, it says here it's used for a thickener. Whatever that is. I'm not too worried about it. But like I said, I'm not swimming. I'm not drinking this stuff straight out of the bottle. So I got a little bit of this, and it goes a long way. And it tastes pretty good. Okay. Piquin are the types of peppers. Very good to know. Thank you there. I am eating steak. That's what I'm eating there, Josh Mason. Let me see here. I don't know if I can really. I've been pretty good about being able to get my plate in the image. But yeah, I'm not eating steak just for show. I'm eating steak to also talk about, hey, this can be affordable. This is going to be an affordable way of eating, affordable way of living. You don't see anything else on here besides whatever seasonings I put on the steak, a little bit of this sauce, and some salt, some good quality Himalayan pink salt. I mean, this is my meal. This is probably going to be my meal for the day. And then I'm going to be starting an egg fast. I told the wife if she could. I asked the wife if she could go. You don't tell the wife anything. The only thing you tell the wife to do is don't walk off the cliff. But I asked the wife to see if she could pick me up some eggs because I was going to start an egg fast for the remainder of the week. And this was these steaks here were some of the last steaks I had thawed out. So I wanted to make sure I got these cooked up. And had at least one because when my son comes home, yeah, he's either going to eat whatever I got left over here or he's going to eat the one that's over there. Because he really does seem to enjoy. He loves the fat on the edges. Now that he's learning that the fat is actually fuel and not going to kill him, but this is providing that he stays out of all the McDonald's food when he's at work too. You gotta, if you're going to eat this way, you can't just eat steak, say you're healthy, and then eat a bunch of crap. It's not how any of these type of eating routines or diet strategies work. You gotta stick with what you're doing. This was a sirloin cut. I don't know how many tattoos. I got one, got two. They're all up on my upper body. So I got this tattoo here. This tattoo was done by a relative, and I thought it was going to be small. And he said he doesn't know how to do small. And I was like, and he was doing it for free. I mean, he didn't even charge me for that. I was pretty happy with that. And this one, oh, wrong side. There's the other one. That's my last one. So all of my tattoos were done by, kind of beginner level type tattoo artists. I didn't have any professional ones done. I can't afford to go down and spend $700 on something. So Shannon here says the carnivore diet is the easiest diet she's ever done. I have to agree with that one. Because when I started it, I thought it was hard, but I was scared of it. I was overcomplicating things. I did not realize that this diet actually worked, because I tried being a vegan. I tried being a vegetarian. I tried losing weight, eating salads and going for runs and riding my bicycle. I'd lose the weight and then I'd put it right back on. Well, I didn't know the first darn thing about ketosis. I didn't know anything about autophagy. I didn't know what foods were okay to eat, what foods that weren't okay to eat. I didn't realize that, there wasn't a difference between drinking a Coca-Cola or drinking a Sprite or Canada Dry. I mean, it was the high fructose corn syrup that was poisoning me. So if I were to drink like maybe 1 or 2 sodas a day, maybe a Red Bull or a Monster Energy drink, I was literally screwing myself. I was messing up everything for the routine. My body was telling me no. So I'd lose weight even while I was consuming those things, the high sugary stuff. and then I would gain it right back. And it's like, what is going on here? Why? It's like I only took like a 2 or 3 day break, and I just gained back 25 pounds. But I also didn't know anything about water retention. I didn't know anything about electrolytes. I didn't know nothing until I started losing weight, learning how to fast properly. And yeah, fasting is incredibly powerful. So, I mean, I highly recommend anybody that's getting started on a journey, to start out with learning the basics of fasting and practicing it. Because it took me some practice. Granted, my first one I did really well, but I was a man on a mission. I did a 5 day solid water fast. For 5 days, lost 30 pounds. I was on a mission to hopefully regain some health. And I only found that information out after doing like 3 months of research on fasting, seeing how weight was lost, who was losing weight. And I wasn't just researching the topic, I was researching people that were doing it. And I'm just one of those people that did it. And I was like, wow, you can lose 30 pounds in 5 days. I didn't think that was possible. I was like, 435 pounds. And then all of a sudden I wake up in 5 days and I'm 405. And I'm like, wow, that is amazing. So I kept going. And I was motivated at that point, because anytime you lose a big chunk of weight, you're like, whoa, that's awesome. But then you get down to, I got down to like about 100 pounds of weight loss, and I was starting to feel tired. I was starting to feel the fatigue of fasting. I was starting to feel the fatigue of eating certain ways. And I was just like, am I ever going to, because you have that feeling when you're going throughout the process of weight loss and fasting and eating principles, you have that feeling at times where you're like, man, am I ever going to be able to, experience, any fun times, like go on a cruise or go to the carnival and eat some of that. Because, when you go to the fair, you go to the carnival. Yeah, that's what people go for. They go for the fair food. And now that I've been doing it long enough, I think I could safely go to the Alaska State Fair, for instance. It happens once a year. But I think I can safely go there and make some pretty good choices now. A1C, is that my blood sugar? I don't know all these numbers and stuff. My LDLs aren't bad. My cholesterol's great. My blood sugar is perfect, by the way. And my blood pressure is better than it's ever been in my entire life. Ever. Like ever. Even when I was healthy. When I was healthy, running almost an 8-minute mile, my blood pressure is awesome now. Well, you can still buy weed there, Stoned Ape. I'm sorry, Stoned Age. It's Stoned Ape. The thing is I wouldn't even start out with steaks. Steaks are just a treat. I mean, if you're financially having any situation at all, and if you have access to a Costco business center, that's where I buy my burger meat. But you're gonna have to buy one of these big long tubes. It's like a 10-pound chub. And at the Costco business center, it's $29.99 for 10 pounds. And I can make about 20 to 24 burger patties, depending on the thickness. However I do it, I just kind of slice them up by hand. So approximately $5 a meal. And I just make, now my meals are big because I'm a big guy. I've been eating, morbidly obese type eating for a long, long time. I'm a glutton. I'm a binge eater. So you have to keep that in mind. So if 2 burger patties fills you up, that's only about $2.50 per meal. For me, I can eat 4 of those burgers. That's $5 per meal. Just by eating those big ground beef chubs. And I like to get the 80-20. 80-20 is 80% meat, 20% fats. And you have to have that balance of fats for your gut to actually work correctly. Now, if you're new to the carnivore diet, I'd probably start out with a 70-30 if you can get that. And that can be cheaper depending on where you buy it. But you have to experiment with your meat suppliers and see if certain meats are going to work for you, because when you first start off, everything's going to be weird because you're coming off a high carbohydrate, high sugar diet, and you're going into proteins and fats mainly. So it's a good idea not to be, for me at least, not to be too strict. So I was doing a 90-10 eating principle, which was about 90% meats and fats, and then 10% I didn't care. So life was mainly focused on meats and fats, but I was still leaving myself a reasonable expectation of 10% of whatever. So I would eat 90% meats and fats through the week. Maybe at the end of this, I would eat a cookie at that point, or I would have a piece of fruit, not a big deal. So you got to be reasonable and have reasonable expectations, especially when getting started. It's hard to get started, especially if you've never done anything like this before, because you need to work on what's going on up here more than what's going on in your belly. Because if you don't fix what's going on with your thought process around food, your thought process around ingredients, your thought process around health, and you don't make yourself aware of what does what and why, then it's just going to be a bunch of gobbledygook, and you're not going to figure it out, and you're going to be bumping in the walls like I was. But I had the carnivore community here, and they were helping me, to get to this point. I don't know how many videos I made, talking about, 90% meats and fats, 10% I love my life. That was like one of my little jingles there for a while. And I'll still stand behind that, especially for people getting started on the carnivore diet. I mean, if you can go 100%, great, but it's going to be a tough hurdle to get over. At least it was for me, and I can't speak for everybody, because just shutting off your traditional way of eating junk food and sugary foods and snacks, like just chopping it off all in one day, it's hard to do. It's not easy to do, and that's why fasting came in handy. Because when I learned how to fast, I learned that I didn't require as much food as I thought I did. Because before I started losing weight, I was eating all day long. First thing I'd get up in the morning, I'd make breakfast. Then I would have a coffee with a bunch of crap in it, and a bunch of sugar in it. And then I was eating snacks immediately after breakfast. And then I might eat second breakfast. And then I'd move on into another snack and then eat lunch. And it was just a perpetual motion of screwing up my life for a long period of time. And it just didn't get better. It got worse. It got really bad to the point where I was almost stuck in bed. I couldn't move. 435 pounds is no joke. And I know some people that are heavier than that, but that's hard. It's hard to do. $10.49 a pound for grass-fed Angus beef hamburger. You pay $10.49 a pound. Now here's the thing with grass-fed, grain-finished, grain-fed, grass-finished. Really, the animals, a ruminant animal, it's got 4 stomachs. I really don't think it means that much. I mean, there is a little bit of benefit in the nutrition, but I don't think the nutrition is that big, especially if you're struggling financially, because I started out on the most affordable hamburger you could come up with. And that's what I ate. I ate that for a long time. I couldn't afford steak like this. There was no way. I mean, it was just out of my reach. And I didn't know what to do with it. I could have bought that piece of meat at Costco and I would have had no idea, what to do with it. It would have sat in the freezer until next Christmas and I still wouldn't have touched it, because I didn't learn. It takes time to learn how to take care of meat, package meat, how to cut it without hurting yourself or making a mess or, bacteria and stuff like that. That's too expensive for ribeye. $23.99 a pound. Oh my goodness. I couldn't do that. Hey there, Felix. I appreciate you jumping in. Let's see, but I don't spend money on anything else. Budget. Hey, I'm on a fixed budget of $12.51. Yep. Okay, but I don't spend money on anything else. Yeah. That's a pretty tight budget. Depending on if you own your home or your house is paid for, it's doable. I mean, I'm just looking at Alaska. You can do that here, but man, cost of living, just home, electricity, internet. It's like everything, we got to pay an extra bill for everything. Doesn't matter what it is. They come up with a reason. And I seriously thought that by now, this late in life in the, year 2020, that internet would finally be free, like long distance phone calls. Remember when we used to pay, $1.50 for long distance phone calls? Yeah, I'm that old. But, and then when I had a cell phone, my first cell phone was like $1.50 a minute. And now we're making cell phone calls. We're streaming live on cell phones with internet. Yeah, I would have seriously thought that somebody would have, chopped it off there, and the internet was actually going to be provided to everybody, which it should be. I mean, they've made enough money on it over the years. There's no reason we should be paying for internet, high-speed internet, or anything like that. Unless you live really far out and you got to use like some wacky like Starlink. That's awesome. You got a husband to help you with that there, Donna. It's tough when you're doing that all by yourself. Yeah, I feel the same way about grass-fed, grass-finished. Because how many years were we lied to about heart healthy on a box of Cheerios? Really? That's not heart healthy. That's the last thing. I almost choked again on camera. That would have been just freaking great. Watch me die over here. I would have tried to stay in frame at least. Oh, you live in Massachusetts. Yeah, Massachusetts can be an affordable place to live depending on what type of housing you have. Hey, I'm not trying to die early. I'm just saying, if I did, I'd at least try to make it entertaining for people. Somebody probably get like a million views from like taking that little clip. Could just imagine. That would be my life too. It takes me about 2 months to make $140 just in ad revenue on YouTube. So about 2 months, every 2 months, I make about $140, which is great. It's better than nothing. I'm not out here to get rich. I'm out here to hopefully help people and share my Alaskan adventures and meet new people and talk to people. But that's the fun part about this. Yeah, sustainable farming is a great idea. I wish more people would practice it, and I wish our government would get the hell out of it. Because they're not about sustainability. They're about profit. Yeah, my boss, Shannon, when I do snow haul, he's from Canada, and he tells me some horrible, horrible stories about over there, especially with Justin Trudeau. What a mess. I can't believe somebody hasn't gotten rid of that guy, or I heard it, like Justin Trudeau, I hear since he's French speaking, he gets Quebec or the French speaking provinces behind him so he can relate closely to them. So he tends to get those votes, and I guess those votes kind of delete out everybody else's votes. Hey, I want to thank you there, Nolan. Says I'm amazing, or he says somebody's amazing. Maybe the steak. The steak can be amazing. So I got a little story about when I was down in Texas. I went to a restaurant there. Was it Texas or might have been New York? I don't remember. Actually, there was a couple times. Yeah, down in Texas, there was like some really, really fresh beef. It tasted like they just killed the cow 5 minutes ago. And it was they were making steaks up basically from a cow. This was many, many years ago, so I don't remember what the name of the restaurant is, but they basically get a side of beef and they'd be making it into steaks or whatever as they went through the side of beef. And that was what was available to eat. So for X amount of dollars, you can get pretty much all you can eat meat. And of course they had other stuff there, vegetables and stuff on the side that you could pick from. But whatever they had available was what meat was being served at the time. So you could have like all different types of cuts. You never knew what you were going to get, every time you went in there. I went in there 2 or 3 times, but I believe it was like South Texas, down close to Amarillo. But it was so good. I mean, it was so good. Like everything had that country atmosphere, like picnic tables and sawdust on the floor. I wish I knew what that place was. It was so much fun. Well, let's see. What's your favorite meat? Really, honestly, my favorite meat is 80/20 burger patties. I love them. I haven't had them in a while. I mean, I've been eating a lot of steak because I have a whole bunch of steak that I cut up and processed. And steak's great once in a while, but it's not something I really crave. I still crave the 80/20 burger patties that I make, every day. Like if I were to go to work and come home, that's kind of what I crave. So similar to before when I used to crave pizza, I mean, I come home and it's a super simple thing. Takes me like 15, 20 minutes to make them up from frozen. And I got super healthy meal, super healthy option. But yeah, it's so weird how I went from all I ever wanted was pizza every single day. And I wanted more pizza, and then I wanted to eat the whole pizza and then somebody else's pizza. Yeah, to living life like this. It's so opposite of what I'm used to. Steaks are good. Check out Shannon. Hey, Shannon, does Shannon have a YouTube channel? This is the Shannon we're talking about right here. The one you're talking to, Donna. I'm 9 months in. I still gag at the beef fat, but I can eat tallow. Well, maybe the beef fat's not cooked all the way. I mean, if it's not tender and really melts in your mouth, if it's super chewy, I totally get it. You know, I have chunks of, I might have some fat in here. You know, this stuff is really soft right here on the end. But if it's really chewy, or if you get any of the gristle, yeah, that's dog food. I mean, give that to the dog. The dog will devour it, won't even taste it. But you want this nice, really like squishy fat. This is the good stuff right here. This should like be like butter in my mouth right there. That's the fat that came out from in between the pieces there. Yeah. I mean, there is a little tiny bit of chewy texture by that piece that was hanging down. It's just full of juice. It's like, I could eat that all day long. And right there, I got a piece that's it's going to be dog food. I can't chew it, so I get it. Totally get it. Okay, had to spit that one out. That one had to go to the puppy. I got to pay the puppy tax. Let's see, I crave fried chuck with butter. I like the chuck. I like the chuck roast. The only problem I have with it is you got to cook it like so long. I mean, really slow. And you got to cook it for a long time. And, you know, if you got at least 12 hours, I like to cook mine for about, 10 or 12 hours minimum. Sometimes a little bit longer to make it really, because it just gets stuck in all my teeth. You know, I'm not lucky enough where I can just take out my teeth. But I guess if I had to take out my teeth, I wouldn't be eating steak either. Yeah, I would love some bone marrow. It's not something I come across every day. I could probably go down to the local butcher. And I have been wanting to go, what is that? Joe Biden is also a WEF member. What's WEF? You guys are using code words. World Economic Forum, I'm guessing. Probably gonna get flagged for saying a word. It's like talking about COVID. We got in trouble for talking about COVID a while back. I mean, I'll be getting over that. So I got a community guideline strike almost a year ago. And I never did anything about it because I didn't know if I was going to continue YouTube. Because as soon as I got the strike, I went into a depression. And then that was before I even got really morbidly obese. But yeah, I was struggling to provide content on YouTube. I was doing shopping videos and stuff like that. And this one video caught my eye. It was just, I mean, they got like millions and millions of views, and they were talking about COVID the same way I was talking about COVID. And I was just regurgitating what that video was providing. And I got a community guideline strike. At that time, I was so new to YouTube. I didn't know there was stuff that I could do about it. I just didn't understand the process behind what I could have done to help myself. And I could have disputed it. But yeah, so about 90 days ago, I had to actually take a YouTube class that they provide for when we have little hiccups and stuff like that. So I fixed it. I took the class, and after that, they give you 90 days. And if you don't have another one, then you can you just go on business as usual. But YouTube has a 3 strikes you're out policy, so you have 3 chances to really screw your channel up or have it deleted completely. And I put a lot of work into this. I mean, it might not be the best YouTube channel in the world, but it's what I got. I enjoy posting content. I enjoy sharing Alaska adventures. I enjoy talking about how I'm losing weight. You know, I'm not telling people, hey, you got to eat meat. This is the only way to do it, because it's not. It's not. I've lost weight 1,000 different ways. But I also screwed it up 1,000 ways too, you know, until I started eating this way. And for me, this just works, you know, because considering I'm a binge eater, it is really hard to binge eat steak. I mean, even burger meat, really, really hard. You get to a certain point, and you're just like, dude, get that away from me. There's no freaking way. But you're so full, you're so satiated. The difference is I don't want to eat crap food after I'm done eating. And there's the difference. And it's just, yeah, I never thought it was going to be affordable. You know, because all you see is these carnivores on the internet, and they're just eating just nonstop ribeyes and these tomahawk steaks. I mean, those things are expensive. I mean, you can live down in Texas and you're still paying a pretty good price for a big giant tomahawk steak. Yeah, lose weight, gain it back. Absolutely there, Ladybug. I mean, it's just, so yeah, that's the main reason I'm just doing carnivore diet. And like I said, I didn't dive into the carnivore diet and be like, hey, this is the ultimate diet, dude. No, I mean, a good friend of mine, he lives here in Alaska. He's got cancer. He's been struggling. He has his good days and bad days like anybody with cancer, but he's the one that got me turned on to this. And it wasn't like, and I fought him about it. I was like, I don't know about that. I was still scared. You know, because I heard a lot of bad things. There's a lot of vegan propaganda running around there, and they spread literal false information about other types of eating strategies and eating habits, and they just try to make it sound bad so you won't eat animal products. I get it. It's all politically driven. But sometimes, like even in some of the comments that I get, I wonder in the back of my mind when people are talking about certain things, I'm wondering, is this like one of those undercover vegan moments where, you know, this person is hiding their identity and don't want to share it because, you know, what they're saying doesn't make any sense. And I'm starting to recognize that now because I get these comments all the time. They're like, oh, this or that. And I just think about it for a second. I was like, this person has absolutely no idea what they're talking about. They haven't tried it. They haven't experienced it. I said, chances are they're an undercover, you know, vegan hack, just trying to create anxiety in a struggling person. And that's disgusting behavior. And I do have vegan followers. I believe I talked to one today in one of the comment threads, and I do appreciate them. So, but I'm not an advocate against vegetables being all bad, because I hear that too, that rhetoric getting tossed back and forth. And I'm just not on board with that. I'm like, whatever, you know, just whatever's making you healthy. Is it whole foods? You know, if you're eating vegetables, is it got poison on it? Is it covered in poison? A lot of this stuff is. And a lot of vegetables make me sick. I didn't find that out until I just got rid of all the vegetables and everything for a period of time. Yeah, Shannon, I think they're trying to make censorship normal. So when they do it more often, nobody will talk about it or stand up. It's like, I don't know. It's just some things, yeah, don't need to be talked about, but man, they're just taking it way overboard, especially when it came to the pandemic. The pandemic was horrible enough as it was, but there was so much bad information floating around, and the news was providing most of it. The majority of the bad information was coming straight from the news media. And if anybody else wanted to talk about something like inside details of anything, you know, we got spanked for it. Like even now, we still got a war going on across the freaking river over here. And we're not allowed to talk about what's going on. We're not allowed to talk about what our friends know, you know, that might be there, living it. I mean, it put a stranglehold on us. But as a country, we can send them trillions of dollars, and we're still sending money over there. I don't know what's going on, why we're that involved to send that much money over there. Yeah, Donna, Facebook's a hard one for me to, I keep Facebook around. I like Messenger. That's about it. I will take some of my content, from YouTube, and I'll just share the links over there. But I don't spend a lot of time on Facebook like I used to. I don't like the idea that people can, be on a page and make comments about me or anybody, and then they can block the person they're making comments about, so that person has no idea that comments even be in there unless somebody else can screenshot it and forward it to you. It's just that type of censorship is nonsense to me. I mean, if it's a social platform, yeah, it should be social. Wow, that's a weird one, Donna. Huh. Facebook Marketplace. I do like Facebook Marketplace, mainly because so many people have gotten away from using Craigslist. So Craigslist is like a dying thing, even though Craigslist is still around. But it's hard to find good deals on Craigslist these days because almost everybody's using Marketplace. I haven't posted anything on Craigslist in just so many years. Oh, yes. Come here, you. Let's see what we can get out of that one. I wonder if I can chew that piece. That one looks kind of chewy. Okay, that's a good piece of fat there. Yum. Mm-hmm. Wow, melt in my mouth. Yep. That's good stuff. Will you even get you in? Oh, really? I didn't know that, Shannon. They can censor you in Messenger too? Oh. Now, I've said a lot of messed up stuff in Messenger to friends and stuff like that. I've never had any instance there, but I'm guessing if you get really crazy, maybe. Huh. There's a lot of scammers on Marketplace. Marketplace is a dangerous place, especially for young kids. I think my son was a victim of Marketplace scammers. He bought something off the internet. No, it was a while ago, but he did it a couple times, and he wound up having his card hacked. He's a young kid, but yeah, it was all of a sudden like hundreds of dollars were just missing, and then we were looking at his spending report, and there were all these purchases made at like gas stations all around like the Seattle area, like somewhere in Washington State. I was like, wow. So thankfully our bank has a, deal where they just cover it all. But, what a pain in the butt, because he's had to get a new bank card like 3 times. It's like, man, be careful who you buy stuff from. I need food. Why don't you feed us as well? Well, if you're close by, I can give you some. But if you're not close by, I can't help you. I always try to help out people as much as I can. I mean, within reason. You cannot provide everything for the world, especially when the world cannot take care of itself. Greetings from the Big Island. Hey there, how you doing? Nice to see you there. Hey, how's life over there? I have friends over there, not necessarily they were on the Big Island, I think. They were doing construction work, and they kind of abandoned their contracts over there because it was getting so politically upside down in Hawaii. I am in Alaska. I do not know how to pronounce that name. I can't read that language. But you say you're from Greece. I'm in Anchorage, Alaska. We live in Kona. I think they have property close to Kona. Well, yeah, they came this way because they were just getting ready to have a baby. Those crazy fires happened in Maui, and that don't get enough attention, in my opinion. Those are some messed up fires, especially how they hopscotched around the different buildings and didn't really touch certain things and certain properties, but it did touch like all the native Hawaiian lands. It's weird, just weird. Everything about that whole situation is weird. Let's see. Oh, you live in Athens. Very nice. I appreciate you dropping in there. Hey, everyone. I'm from upstate of South Carolina. I like South Carolina and North Carolina. Yeah, very, very interesting places. But yeah, it's funny here because here in Alaska, there's a lot of people that come from the islands. We get people from Hawaii. We get a lot of Samoans that come over here for a better life. They go back and forth, between here and there. all great people. I mean, I enjoy them as people being here and neighbors. They're awesome. On my down the street from me a few years back, person brought off marketplace, and it was a scam. They took his truck and killed both who came. Oh, that's horrible. Yeah, that's a problem. Oh my goodness. I'll flip that over and start getting on that piece there. I don't think I'm going to be able to. I'm almost full. I almost need to get started on my other video, get it finished. It's still, I got to add music. I got to do a whole bunch of stuff to that video before I can even get it close to ready. And just adding music to these videos is a headache. I mean, it's the simple little things that a lot of people take for granted when they watch these videos. These illegals are going to be for a rude awakening after the election. Yeah, I don't know, Donna. I think they're going to leave the majority of them alone, pretty much like they always have. We got, and not all of them are illegal, but I mean, we got a crazy crossing going on right now, down south. And there were some people that I was friends with. They were posting some videos down off the border, and yeah, they got their site taken down for talking about it. But then other people are allowed to talk about it. I don't understand how it all works. Like, why? Like in this person over here that has like 100 million followers talk about stuff, but this person over here that's only got like 500, they can't. Oh, that's too bad. Yeah, Susan says her husband always wanted to come to Alaska but never went there. Now, that's the thing. If you got Alaska on your bucket list, just start planning, man. Life's short. You're only going to have so many opportunities in life, and if it's something you want to do to get here to Alaska, the first thing you got to do is buy a plane ticket. It's the only way you're going to get here, unless you drive up. But yeah, you could just make the trip. I have a lot of close friends that wanted to come up here. They talked about visiting and saying they were going to come up here, but not one of them. Not one of them. Even the ones from high school. Oh yeah, I'm going to come up there someday. I don't know if they ever showed up. The only person that showed up was me. Bill Knott lives about 70 miles north of here. I'm in Anchorage. He lives out in Willow. Yeah, the shelters are getting out of control for the people coming into the country lately. I noticed that. I mean, they got them put up in hotels. I mean, like they're confiscating entire hotels and putting them up in there. They're basically turning some of the hotels and motels and whatnots into government housing. It's like forced government housing. So the hotels, or whatever you want to call them, they're getting paid. They're getting paid by our tax dollars. I mean, whether they like it or not. Wow. The time we got here. Well, we're about an hour and a half in, guys. Probably going to have to cut this stream here soon. I still have another half of my day left working on a video. That's probably not going to make me much money. But yeah, that's all part of it. Anybody else got any questions before I take off about the carnivore diet, how I'm losing weight? That's basically what I do. I mean, I like coming out here and hanging out with you guys, and being around you every week just makes me feel a whole lot better up here. I mean, it does. It's helpful. Donna's always coming back. Kristen Morrison likes to show up here. We got a lot of people that are regulars that show up. It just makes my day, to see people that I recognize that come in here. And even if I don't get, any views or any money and stuff like that, it's just fun to hang out with people and have a good time, talk about the differences in the world, and, Alaska, differences in diets, how I'm making this work for me, why I'm making this work for me, because I've considered all kinds of ways to lose weight. But I mean, if you're struggling to lose weight and you want to learn a little bit more, subscribe to the channel. Check out some of my videos. There's a lot of other people that are attached to this content as well. All right, guys, God bless, and I'm going to fumble through the buttons. All right, take care. Ooh, I missed it. There it is. Hello, dear.
Hi.
I got steak. You want steak?